Life is a series of unscripted experiences that forge us into unique individuals. These are the experiences and stories of those who possess the will, beliefs, and fortitude required to overcome obstacles, pursue their passions, and achieve success. Welcome to the HawkCast with your host, AJ Hawk.
Another musician joins the podcast tonight. We have the great Marc Roberge. Did I say it right?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, well, good. So Marc is for people that don't know, which I think you guys have been out there so long, the lead singer of the band of Revolution, O.A.R, or as growing up as a little kid, we called him O.A.R. And so how many, do you still get people that call you guys O.A.R?
Yeah, I embrace it completely.
Do you really?
Yeah, because, it dawned on me really early on when that first started happening was because our music was spreading on Napster and it was spreading so fast. People just wrote it quickly, and right away, the band, we were like, no, we're O.A.R. And then for like a week. And then after that week, we realized, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them. And we've been supportive of that. We've even made shirts that just clearly say "or." Yeah.
Either way, it's about people hearing your stuff, I think. And when you said it spread on Napster, how did that, is that when you were coming up, like when the whole Napster thing started?
Right. So we were at Ohio State 97 to 2001. And around 98, 99, it was really starting to happen. I was going into, we rented a house out in Hilliard, and I remember going in the room and just kind of like following this thing, Napster. And we were getting phone calls from other colleges in Arizona and far away from where we were saying, come play at our parties. And they knew all our songs. So Napster was really, really huge in spreading that. And then when everything kind of spiraled out of control with Napster, then we were involved in kind of people wanted to know our opinion on it. And honestly, it was great for us. It was tough for the music business. We felt it both. But like, we have to give, we caught a good wave. It was great.
Now, it seems like the whole music industry has changed because of the whole Napster deal, where I know now the big money is in touring. You guys have to be on the road and you have to play live shows. Do you think it was going to inevitable at some point it was going to turn to that, and Napster was just the guy or the company that started it?
Well, for us, the reason I started wanting to tour was because my older brother was in a band and is in a band called Foxtrot Zulu. They're a jam band out of New England, Rhode Island area. And I'd watch them tour around the East Coast and come to my parents' house where I lived, and 7 of them sleep in the basement, have barbecues outside, drinking beers, having a good time. I said, I want to do that, So when our band started, we always tried to tour, even if it was locally, wherever we could go. So we built a fan base, and our fan base was so loyal, and we're so loyal to our fan base that we never really we just were always touring. That was our thing. So when the business became about touring, we were already, our heels dug in. We established ourselves, and I felt like that's what our job we're touring musicians, and that's your job. And we've just put in the time now that we know how to do our job pretty well, and we can really just have fun now because it's a good system we have, So we were kind of prepared for the change. We knew CDs were going to go away.
So you guys are the true story of grassroots, I would say, from what what year did you guys write Crazy Game of Poker?
So that was in 1996, 97. So I transferred out of high school just for a semester, basically, 3 months. We went over to Israel, did high school there, started writing a song one night, came home to summer, got in the basement with the band, and we went to the studio with our first couple $100. And at the studio in March of that year, we just kind of made up the second half of that song. It went to half reggae time. And we were all just really inspired at the time. We kind of just made it up, recorded it twice, cut it up into one thing, and that was it. So we were kids, man. We were kids.
Jeez. Did you have any kind of plan then after you you wrote these songs and you were touring at a young age at Ohio State. Did you guys have like a plan in place to try to grow this grassroots, or were you just playing?
So we had, luckily, somewhere along the way, we were making some business, and my brother was a business student at University of Florida. He graduated, started working in Vegas, and he was kind of saw the vision, and he shaped our business, and we worked on the creative, and it was a really cool marriage where, you know, we knew we were going in the right direction, and someone was growing our business, but it was someone who'd never been in the music business. So we were grassroots as it can be. I mean, everybody's basement was an office, you know, it was hardcore and it was fun. So at least we had 10 years to do that. And then we feel like, then we started a whole nother career. And that was kind of like, we practiced for 10 years and then we got in bigger venues and just really went for it. It was a lot of fun.
Do you have a manager at that time?
Yeah, so that was our manager, my brother. He was our manager for a long time, and he kind of shaped everything. It was great.
So say like a frat wanted to book you guys, they called him and he would work out a price and you guys would show up?
Yeah, like so at first in college, I would do that, and Chris would do that, and Jerry, you know, and it was like, it turns out we just weren't that good at that. I'd say yes to anything. They'd say, hey, will you come play on our front lawn? I'm like, okay, great. Yeah. For free beer? Okay, sure. My brother says, you know, no, you guys should probably charge a little money.
And so when did you like transition from your brother managing to like having a record deal and all that? So
he took us all the way up to our first and built our first independent label. So we did our first 3 records and then the live record Anytime Now, all on an independent label that we all worked on together, the whole band. My brother, the manager, and his team, and it was an indie label. And then we signed to Atlantic Records, and then we had even more friends, and these guys were just all really great guys. We just made really good friends along the way, and we always had people working with us that were just good people, you know.
If you guys say you were coming up now, or say there's a young band or young one-off, there's a lot of individual guys I feel like that are YouTube stars, whatever you want to call it, that's how they get their music out. Is it valuable, or do these people need big record labels now to sign them?
So, in my opinion, if a song is going to reach the masses, you know, and be on every outlet you can think of, it's going to need a company to make that happen. It doesn't, you know, the company doesn't make the song. It's not like as nefarious as it sounds, but the company makes the song have legs, like reach more people. So it depends what kind of artist they want to be. If they want to be a touring artist, you don't necessarily need a label to tour. You just need really great managers and a lot of, you know, drive, and you really just got to do it. But if you just want to be famous, you definitely need a label, 100%.
Like, what is Kid Rock doing? I know he went away from Live Nation or whatever it was and took on a lot of the risk, but he also got to keep a lot of the money when he tours now. Do you know what his situation is?
Whatever Bob's doing is great. I mean, he's been ahead of the game since day one. So when he's making moves, he's thinking about the future, and I think that we should all be, you know, hopefully one day he'll let us know some of his secrets. That dude's doing great. I like him a lot.
He actually played, so I was lucky enough to be a part of Super Bowl champs with the Packers in 2010, 11, and he played our after party.
No way.
Yeah, and I was a fan, but more of a casual fan of his. And I think I've even said on here before, he was unbelievable. Played every instrument, running around the stage. It was like his Super Bowl how he was playing. And I know he's a huge Lions fan, so I appreciated it.
Man, he should be respected. He's a good example of someone who can last a long time in a business that is built to cut you short. You know, just like professional sports, we always kind of talk, you know, hey, there's some relation between professional sports and professional touring music, because, you know, it's 1 in a million, and then you got to work to stay.
Oh, I can't imagine in music, because the pressure, and I always think about like the anxiety that you guys must have when you put out all these, let's say you put out a new album, you tour it, and then it's like, okay, what's next? Don't you have people knocking on your door and hitting you saying, okay, well, we need 11 more songs now, man. What do you got?
Well, for me, and all the band guys, like we all together love to make music. So any project is fine with us. The only challenge is the balance of time on the road, time off the road, making that healthy, so because we all have families, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we love to make music. We love to play. Any opportunity to do that, we will play, we will do it. Our challenge is not to play too much, you know what I mean? And make sure you do the right thing and be in the right place too,
I saw you guys play at, Riverbend last year, I think it was, and it was my first time at a show. I don't know the guy's name, but who was? Obviously I know nothing about music. He was playing the trumpet. He came out.
Oh man, John Lampley.
Oh my gosh, the energy that dude brought was unbelievable.
Listen, if he would run for office, I would be hit right by his side. I mean, this guy, he's so young. He was in the Ohio State marching band, right? So he dotted the I. He, was a diehard Buckeye. He joined the group almost 5 years ago, but he's also in a lot of other groups, and he's on the Stephen Colbert late night show, and he's clearly just a great energy, and people remember him,
I remember I was standing there with my wife and my brother Ryan and his wife, and we're loving it and sitting there, and I was like, look at this dude on the I think it was trumpet. He plays everything, it seems like.
Yeah.
And the dance moves he had going, just like it was, the music was just going through him, and he was so juiced about everything happening. And I could see, like, it looked like you guys even all fed off of his energy, and he fed off of you guys, and he just seemed so happy to be there.
Yeah, he's the greatest. I mean, yeah, like I said, that's just he's just a great person to have when everybody in the group we're all so happy to be there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when someone comes in there even happier than you are to be there, it like pulls you up, So I'm excited that other people see that.
Okay. Does he give like a little shot of energy to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, of course, everybody does, even someone in the audience who's having a killer time. That will bring me up.
Really?
Yeah. Dude,
on the flip side, is it the same if you see someone sitting there, arms folded and not having a great time? Do you focus on that person?
No, because it's really funny. When we first started opening for Dave Matthews Band, who's the greatest, we love the group. They had a fan base that loves their group too, And I remember a whole row people turned around and faced the other way when we were playing in protest.
What? Why?
Of what? I have no idea, but apparently they did not like us. But, that doesn't get in my head in a bad way. I literally just kind of use it as fuel and say, listen, we only got 20 more minutes and we'll be out of your hair. Stick with us.
Stick with us.
Because what are you going to do? You can't fight the river. It's like, you got to just do your thing.
Do your thing. It makes sense, man. When you play to enough people, there's obviously, music is so like subjective. I know Bruce Springsteen seems to be a guy where I know he plays 3-hour plus shows and he just goes so hard, but people are either, it seems like, die hard with Bruce or they just can't stand him, it seems like.
Look, he believes, and he puts it all out there. My biggest thing is if you're gonna, and Matt Nathanson told me this, he said, if you're gonna be there, be there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna be home, be home. And Bruce is a perfect example of being there. And like, that's what our group always does, is we're there, and we learn that from guys like Bruce. We learn that from U2 and Coldplay and Dave Matthews Band and all these great, Tom Petty and the Heartbreaks, all these great live bands, REM, huge.
Wow. How do you guys, you're still so young, but you've been together forever. How do you keep bringing the juice? How does that still seem to not get redundant? And you've been doing it, played so many thousands of shows together with the same group. How do you keep like the fire alive?
Yeah, I always try to think of a shark who, can't stop swimming because they die. So if you're going to stay and do the same thing over and over and over, you're stagnant, right? You're not going to really get anywhere. But if you change your surroundings and change your perspective every once in a while, you're going to come up with new art. And your new art is going to be a fresh something for people to hold on to. And that's literally it for us. We just really like to grow and get better. And the way we do that is playing live. And the more we play together, the better we become at writing together. It's really all about practice, and then that gives you new stuff. And I think people want to take that journey with you,
How do you guys how's the writing process? Do you write the lyrics? Do you write the music? How do you guys collaborate?
I think every song's different. Some songs, Benj will come up with a bass line, like Lay Down, and we just build a song around it. I Will Find You off our last album was Chris in a room with a drum set, me on an acoustic guitar. It's just situational. And I think each song's different, So the writing process is always pushed on by just being inspired rather than recreating the same setup every time, right? So our newest song, we wrote one in Nashville, one in New York. We've all worked on it and recorded on it over the span of like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So it's all just a work in progress until it's done and everyone touches it. It's good.
I would imagine it would have to be. Have you seen other bands come and go where they can't figure out that dynamic, where one guy wants the credit and other people fight over who gets the power and the money?
I've never had that experience because we're all so, I think, pretty just open and honest with each other. And since we were young, we don't have those problems because we just have really responsible people involved in the group, and everyone does a really great job of just showing respect to each other. So we don't really have that problem. And I haven't been involved with groups that have, only in books and like TV movies and
VH1 behind the music.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, but not in my world. It's cool.
When was the first time you guys opened for Dave?
I think the first time we opened for them, I can't remember, but it seems like it was around 2003 or 4.
So you were just fresh out of college?
Probably. I could be way off on the year.
Well, you probably, because I think I was probably at the show. I've been to the shows where you guys have opened for them. There was like a span where I saw Guster open for Dave multiple times. How was that your first time opening for Dave? Like, how did you feel going up and before you took the stage? Did you have a relationship with the band before you opened?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So, we'd always, coming from Maryland, a few years behind that band, they're from Virginia, you always knew of them and stuff, and you'd go to the concerts, and that was kind of what you wanted to do, be in a band that had concerts. So when you're at one of theirs and you're actually playing at it,
yeah.
And then they're nice enough to come up and say something nice to you and introduce you before you go out there, it's pretty welcoming. So you feel like, you know what, this is all good. All we got to do is play good music, and that's what we did. And it's always been good to us. It was surreal for a minute, but then it was just very familiar because it feels like everyone in that world is coming from the same place. Just happy to be there.
Now, after you guys get done with the show and they come out and they start playing, where do you go from there? Do you watch backstage? Do you go to your trailer? Like, what do you do?
We probably call home, do your thing, eat your dinner, and then eventually they're playing and the crowd is huge. All of a sudden you look up and there's a billion people. Yeah, and everyone kind of goes along their night and then eventually makes their way out there to watch and enjoy. I've seen that band a couple times prior to playing on their tour, and they just got better and better and better and better and better. So it's like the master class, like watching a really great live band. It's cool.
Yeah, I'm obviously a big Dave Matthews Band homer. I've been to like 60 shows probably.
Yeah, they're great.
I started going when I was in middle school. Haven't been as much recently, but yeah, it was a huge thrill when I saw you guys open for them, because I watched. I think I told you this when I met you at one of your shows a couple years ago. I saw you play at First Run at Miami, Ohio, at the bar. I was just with my dad, and he was talking about how he drove my brother and I. He drove us down and slept in the car while we went to your show, because I guess he felt like he didn't want to be the dad over, I don't know, just standing over top of his kids. We just wanted to go see you guys play.
Oh my God.
I think it must have been, you guys were still in school, which was crazy to me.
We were.
You were at school at Ohio State, but you said you guys would go tour on the weekends.
We would, I had some awesome teachers. So, say Thursday, I had history of, something that this guy, my teacher was in a band. So I could talk to him and be, he was really in a great band, and, much love to Bill. But, he'd say, yeah, go do your thing. And then Thursday night we'd cruise out to Athens or something, do a gig, come back for a class Friday morning, cruise out Friday night, because you couldn't not play on Thursdays. That was the night, right?
Okay.
And then we'd play Friday, Saturday, and come back Sunday. And the whole way, we had the van with the one light in the back that worked. So whoever had a paper would be in the back seat, writing. It was awesome. You'd pull up to pay phones to call your girlfriend, because there was no cell phone. I mean, we didn't really carry a cell phone. It's just pay phone. It's crazy.
Were you playing mainly colleges?
Yeah, we were playing bars in towns from, let's see, Athens to all the big schools. And then places like Toledo, we would be playing at the Seagate Center outside, and these different places. And it was cool. It was just young crowds. And we just built it up from there. It was a lot of fun.
So that was when your guys' stuff first came out. I'm trying to think. Was it CDs that people would copy and send to each other, or how was it? How did it spread?
Right. So when we started, I contacted a company called Disc Makers. They're still around. They're a great company. But they had a deal going, $1,000, you get 1,000 CDs of your band, and they'll make the artwork, and it's really cool. We would do that, so essentially then sell them for $10, and I would give all my friends a rack of 25, and they would go to different colleges that they went to. So at Thanksgiving, I would give them 25 CDs. I say at Christmas, give me $250. Sell them for whatever you want, but give me $250.
Wow.
And then Chris would do the same thing, and Jerry would do the same, and it built like that. And then people would copy them, and then Napster, and then it just all kind of happened at the same time. And this crazy game of poker was doing a lot of the heavy lifting, strutting around, I think it was helping us tremendously.
I remember doing, we found, my brother and I put our money together, whatever, I don't know what year it would have been, and we got like a CDR drive they had, and we could copy CDs. So we would get one of your guys' shows, like it was big for live shows, because people would go tape live shows, and then we would somehow, I think we would mail out for them. You would talk to them you'd email with people or whatever. Maybe through AOL Instant Messenger at the time. Yeah. And they would send you a disc, and you would trade them a live show, and then you would copy it. And we weren't selling. We just wanted to hear different live shows.
No, that's
felt like you're doing something special. Yeah.
Well, that's what changed everything. So we kind of saw that happening, and a lot of other people saw that happening. And you knew eventually, it was all about the internet and spreading music. And all you had to do was follow that up. With shows. It was cool.
Now, did you have people come to you? Did you catch any backlash from, say, like an older band, or people that felt like if you supported that, then you were killing the art, or killing our dream as musicians?
No, none of the older bands knew who the hell we were. No, no one knew who the hell. In most circles, no one still knows who the hell we are, which is fine. We that's all good, but let's be real, back then it was just like, we were just a young band, right place at the right time. And we weren't getting famous. We were just spreading music. And so no one had an opinion on us. And I think that I don't know how a band who was used to selling, millions and millions of dollars worth of albums would react. We didn't catch that wave, but I imagine they were devastated to see the loss of that money.
It had to be. I know Lars from Metallica was big on, I don't know what he was doing. He sued Napster, I think, and he was kind of the poster child for the people against it.
And that's the problem, that I think he wasn't his intentions were good. He was, but I think, again, can't fight the river. It's like these things, this is all going to change, just what's going on is going to change. So kind of just have to go with the flow, make the best of it.
Yeah, it seems that way. What do you guys have, what's next for you? Are you working on a new studio album, or what's going on?
Yeah, so we're going to have, we haven't announced it yet, but we have a big project for our 20th year. This is our 20th year. So yeah, we're going to have a big release, big project, a lot of stuff, but we're announcing it real soon. So we're just kind of tying up the loose ends with it now. So that's a lot of work at home and a lot of work in the studio, and it's fun. It's a good fun time.
It's a busy time. You guys it seems like you're always touring. And how has that changed since all you guys seem like at least most of you guys seem like you have families now and kids and everything?
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, this is my desk and this is my kid's desk. But I mean, the balance is the most important thing, and you know where you want to be, and you want to be home, and then you have the itch and you want to play some shows, and so you do that. You just kind of make sure that everybody's in on it. It's a team effort, and all the things that you hear in sports are the same thing in rock and roll. I mean, these days, it's not a party. It is a party. It's a different kind of party. You know what I mean? It's like, different kind of party.
I got you. Yeah, you guys aren't riding all together in a tiny van writing papers and using payphones. You're calling home after the show to see if your kids got down to bed, if someone's got diarrhea. Yeah, I know. I have kids.
You have 2 or 3.
3 now. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, it's awesome. It's all about the balance, because, when you're at the field, you got to go 110%. Mm-hmm. You can't be thinking about anything else. It's the same thing. But the trick is when you're home, focus.
Being home. Yeah.
Be there,
You can't be like the weirdo in the movies that's sitting in the corner trying to play his guitar. Hold on, you're messing up my art, baby. Hold on, I got something.
No, you
kicking
can't.
Your kids out.
Instead, you include it. So I work on my demos, and they're all over my demos. You can hear them talking all over it.
Are your kids? Are they musical? Like, can you tell if they're going to go in that route?
I think they both show signs of really appreciating and loving songs and dancing and all the things that all kids do. I think all kids have that kind of, they just want to have fun and sing. So they're at that level right now. I haven't seen them doing any Beethoven in the corner or anything.
Do they want to be singers in a band? I know my kids already do, and I have nothing to do with music.
My boy wants to be a NHL hockey player.
Ooh. There we go. That's
good. My girl wants to be a princess.
Wow. Didn't you guys play the NHL All-Star game just recently?
Yeah, it was amazing. In Columbus.
Yeah, so your son had to be pumped about that.
Yeah, and he the other day got to go to a playoff game and, went early and they flipped the puck over and he caught it and, he got to take a puck home. So that was huge.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. They kids, it's weird when kids watch, like, your parents are just your parents, just dad. And I've heard Jimmy Buffett say it. He's like, I'm just the pancake maker. I'm the guy that makes them breakfast. They don't care that I go out and tour and he makes hundreds of millions of dollars. And he's like 70, selling out arenas still.
He's the man.
Playing barefoot. Have you guys ever worked with him?
No, but we have, one thing I can say about that is every crew member that we've ever met who has worked with him, everyone from the truck drivers to catering, whoever, they all say the same thing, is that he is the greatest and he treats his whole team as his family. So I've only heard really great things. And touring wise, that's something all of us look up to. All touring bands say, wow, Buffett's got it going on.
That's good to know. I've only been to one of his shows, and it was amazing. It was years ago. That dude kills it barefoot on stage the whole time. And you talk about loyal fans. Those now they're all his age too. They're in their 60s and 70s, dressing up, riding school buses, painted to the shows, and tailgating all day, making a weekend out of it. So
it's impressive. Yeah, that's for sure.
It's impressive. He still has the energy to keep it rolling after all these years. Yeah. How do you ever see yourself not doing music or taking a year off or anything like that? I know bands at times have done that.
You know, no, I mean, we really like doing it. I mean, we always say, you know, the second we all look at each other and go, oh, we don't like this, we won't do it. But every time we stand around each other and get ready to play, we love it and we're so happy. So no, I can't see that happening.
20 years now. How old are you?
37.
God, yeah, that's what shocked me when I saw when I was my brothers were fans of you guys back in the day. We just assumed you guys were so much older than us, and so much because we were like, oh, these guys are professionals and we're just kids. I didn't realize you were a couple years older than us at the time.
I think that had something to do with all of it, was because we literally were just college guys who wanted to be in a band, and I bet there were hundreds of people in the audience who could do exactly what we were doing, you know? So there's a lot of that, like, y'all, we're the same, we're all here having fun, you know, and that just lasted till now. We still feel that way, you know, so you'll have to kick us out.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about music. It's only you guys that you don't really, I mean, you have bosses and managers and people that help you, but you don't have to stop music. It's not like unless you somehow, your throat gets ripped out or what is it? Brian Johnson, is his hearing going bad? He just got booted out of AC/DC?
There's always the hearing thing, and there's always the voice thing. The thing about it, look, it's like anything, you know, you take care of yourself. I mean, you know, you just take care of yourself. You drink a lot of water, you exercise. Everyone in the group takes care of themselves, you know?
Really?
Yeah, because you got to think about it. It's like, it's your job to travel and do all this stuff. And if you're going to do that, you can't be getting sick. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be healthy, you know?
Have you ever had to, over the years, cancel shows because you just have no voice?
I mean, I've had no voice. One time that stands out as just a crazy memory was we were playing the PNC Park in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. It was after a Pirates game, and it was packed. It was 30,000 people. The city had paid for this big fireworks display on the buildings, and it was and I love that place. We played there like 3 times. But my voice all day was feeling like, right now I can feel it's a little tired just because up early with the kids and doing all that stuff. But that day it felt like something was wrong. And I stepped up to sing, and my voice went out. And I had a ruptured, like, little bleeding thing on my vocal cord. So it kind of stopped, and I had to leave the stage, and I couldn't talk to the audience. I couldn't say, like, I lost my voice. But instead, Michael, our keyboard player and singer and percussionist, he started singing the songs. So the band played on. Mike starts singing lead. I go under the stage, see a doctor, come back up. And then we just stayed and hung out. So that was like nightmare, like Jumbotron, losing your voice. But the fans stayed. And the stadium was so cool, and the city was so cool, that it kind of turned it into a good thing. So I don't have that anxiety anymore. I never worry about it. I just take care of it. That's it. You just can't do like 7 nights in a row and be stupid.
7 nights in a row of singing, or 7 nights of going hard on stage?
Singing everything. Well, I don't go hard off the stage other than, like, I know I have a certain amount of whiskey at every show, and that's about all I have.
Helps just enough to tickle your throat, as they say, so you can sing.
Yeah, just so I want to be and hang out with y'all too.
Do you ever get? This used to happen to me in college. When we would stay in. It's called the Blackwell Hotel down in Ohio State on campus, and I would like open the shades in the morning at 6 a.m. for a game, even if it was a night game, hours and hours away, and the parking lot is just jammed full of people tailgating. And I wouldn't get jealous, but I'd be like, man, that looks awesome. That looks like a lot of fun. And you don't get to be a part of it because you're playing, and obviously very lucky to play, and you love it. But I never really tailgated. And then I went back to a game 3 or 4 years ago and basically was like a tailgate fan for the first time for an Ohio State game, and it was amazing.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best thing ever. I mean, I haven't been able to like really enjoy it. Exactly. I've been kind of either playing a gig. We did the Michigan game once, and that was insane. And I, it's just a place. It's a culture. It's like a whole, and you know more than anybody how awesome it is. But yeah, we sit in the bus, we open the curtain, we look at the thing, and we say, wow, that looks like a lot of fun, But it's just kind of like, it's all about experiencing it and having fun. That's why concerts and games are very similar, I think, in my head. It's all about the whole package, the whole experience,
People want to come together for like a common cause. And if they're all coming to see you if you can feel the energy in the parking lot pulling up on the bus, it's got to be a great feeling knowing this is going to be a good night. So,
but what's NFL like? I mean,
similar. I mean, if it's an away game and they're all flicking you off and going crazy.
So what's that like?
It's great though. It's. I always looked at them like it's energy, one way or the other, man. It's energy. Let's use their negative energy for us. Let's let's use it for us somehow. And so it's like your team against the world when you're on the away game, because there's always going to be fans there for you, but the majority of the stadium is against you, and when you're playing away. So it's cool. I think it's something that people start to thrive on. As a musician, I think it'd be a little different if they were all against you.
We've had people against us. We came up playing on various festivals, and we'd end up on festivals that maybe, the fan base didn't want to see us at all, and that's fine. Like, we just never took it personally. It's not, you know what I mean? Like you, I imagine it's not, you're not thinking these people don't like me personally,
Yeah,
they just hate my band.
That's what music is so weird, because it is so subjective. Like you can't flat out say like, "Oh, this band sucks." Like you can say that, but I could say that, and then the person next to me, it might be their favorite band ever.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's music's a weird deal. It's almost like comedy. I talk about stand up all the time on here, and have a lot of stand ups on. It's like, we can say it's not funny, but you can't officially say the dude sucks or whatever. It's just not my thing, maybe.
It's just not my thing. That's exactly. Comedy is my favorite. I love to go see comedy. I mean,
you're in New York too, so you're right in the heart of some great comedy.
Yeah. The Cellar is the spot, and they're just geniuses, man. And that's one thing I have a lot of respect for. That's tough.
Yeah. Would you ever try it?
Hell no, I'm not funny. No way, man. I'm just a spectator, and I enjoy it.
Now, when you go to, say you're at, say like a distant family member of yours is getting married, or one of your distant friends, and you're at the wedding, do they always try to get you up at the reception, get you singing something?
No. That's no. I have a friend who normally I'm at a wedding where, my friend who owns this amazing company out of Chicago, this wedding band, but they're just like the best wedding band of all time, So when I'm there, it's the last few weddings, I just get to watch like great bands. Always good. There's great musicians, I think, most of the time. No one asks me. They don't need me up there to mess it up.
Well, if they're the greatest band, what do they play all the hits? Or
so
what?
No, so his name's Danny Chamson, and he played keys with us. He's played keys with a lot of great bands, and the members of his bands are all accomplished musicians. Everything from American Idol runners up to people who have made it on in other aspects of the music business, current and past. And together they're all pros, right? So, and the songs he's learning are so diverse. They really move the crowd. Whereas, maybe when I was coming up, the wedding bands we were hiring was more like a movie, like The Wedding Singer, These guys are like a badass band. So I've been lucky enough to not have been wanted or needed on stage.
That's a good thing, I would imagine. I'm sure if you want to go enjoy yourself, you don't want to have to.
I was dancing at Benj's wedding. Benj got married with this, and the band played. And I was literally, and that's a rarity for me.
That's awesome. Do you ever feel that? Have you ever had anyone try to tell you that, or try to teach you or tell you how you need to be on stage when you're up there singing?
No, but I mean, I've had friends or friends of family and things like that just mention things in passing just because they feel comfortable to say things to you. And you pick up on that, Chad Feldman, my brother's really close friend, just said, "Hey, why don't you lose the guitar and like move around a little bit?" And this was, 10 years ago, and I was like, you're crazy. That's my safe place,
Yeah.
So I tried it once or twice, and it turned out to be a really fun thing to do. So just kind of pick up on people's vibes sometimes, and some advice is good, some's not. You just got to know that, you got to feel good. And if it feels good, it's all good.
You got to be authentic. Yeah, you can't be up there trying to put on an act that some.
Yeah. Oh, no one's ever said like anything other than that. That was just like a friendly reminder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking some like douchebag guy up some suit telling you, hey man, you need to really, between the second and third song, you need to talk to the crowd for 45 seconds and then run around the back and run around and jump around like an idiot.
No, like we came up at a time that the stage was just that was your thing. We came up loving bands like Pearl Jam and, bands that really commanded the stage. It was their time. They decided what to play and when and how and what version. That's what we came up doing. So we never had that experience at all. We had support from everyone around us. But I think getting more comfortable over the years, that's a goal. You just want to be yourself. You just want to have fun and be in the moment. And that's literally all we've ever done. So,
have you ever had any like crazy situations on stage with your band, or like some crazy malfunction other than your voice that you mentioned earlier, to where you guys had to find a way? I don't know whether it be you guys don't seem like the band that gets in a fight. And I had Brett Michaels on here, my first episode ever, and him and Cece, I think they punched each other in the face on stage one time way back in the day.
Yeah.
But if you had any crazy malfunctions where the power shut off or the crowd started.
Yeah, of course.
Ranting.
I mean, we play so often, so the odds are that every once in a while you're going to have a major F up. And, the 2 nights ago was the last 2 nights ago we played in West Palm Beach. And, we walked out on stage. There's thousands of people. It was an amazing crowd, like young, fun, loud, awesome Florida crowd. And my guitar didn't work for the first 3 songs, and I just had to like put it down and go with the flow. And I couldn't hear this guy, and this guy couldn't hear this guy. It was just, that happens often. But you just power through. You have professionals around you who will figure it out. It just takes a minute. You can't show anyone that, all that's going on. Like, your job is to play. The audience pays money to be there. They don't, it's not their problem if it's not working. You got to make it work, So like, that's it.
It's like, you've seen Boiler Room, haven't you?
Yeah, I love it.
Act as if, like Matt Damon. We don't know. And that's the thing that is crazy to me about bands. All that could be going on. And me as a casual fan of people, we have no idea anything is wrong. We just think it's part of the show.
Right. So if you are the guy who goes on the mic and goes, my stuff is so screwed up, well, you're just kind of telling everybody something they didn't even notice in the first place. So that's the point. You just kind of, I've gotten frustrated, but I try to just chill out. I mean, sometimes, you've had a long day, or you got off a crappy phone call and then you go play and something doesn't work. You got to get over it and just kind of go with the flow,
We don't know. We're so ignorant out in the crowd. We just want to hear the song. So whatever you do, I bet if you just held the guitar and and didn't even strum, no one would even notice. When you're saying your guitar didn't work, we would.
Well, it's like if I'm watching you guys, and I'm there as a spectator watching the field, and y'all know a million things that are going wrong that we're not noticing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably like any job, really. I mean, just on any job that's in the public eye. You're right.
Right. There's an internal thing. We have these microphones on stage that are only internal. So it's like a talkback system. So normally I have like in-ear monitors and I'm playing my show, but I can also talk just to the band and the crew.
Yeah, I always wondered that. Where is that mic that you're speaking into? So, because I've actually, you talk about being a weird fan. We had some old CDs to where it was the inner ear mic from the Dave Matthews Band that my brother got, where we could hear Dave talking like to Carter in the back on those mics.
Right. So there's 2 systems. One is hardwired, which is what we have, because Matthews, they were ahead of the game. They had a wireless one that was amazing because they played stadiums. Uh-huh. So they would clip it here and talk to each other, right? But technology was young and people were tapping into that. So they switched to a hardwired one, which is what now we use, where it's behind me. I walk up to the drums, I step on this thing, and I have a hardwired mic there. Because people will, if it's wireless, they're gonna
pick up. So is that where I got it from whoever bootlegged it off their wireless system?
Yep.
So that wasn't supposed to get out. They didn't say anything bad. It was good.
No, they don't. No. But you never say anything bad. What's bad to say?
Yeah, there's nothing bad to say other than if you. You hate.
You might be like, check out the fight in the fifth row.
Yeah. How much do you guys notice that's going on in the crowd?
We used to notice a lot. We used to, back in the day when it was crazy. There was a lot of fights we would notice. We didn't like that. That sucked. That sucks because you're playing a song and you see it developing and it's building and you want to stop it, but you can't really. You're like in the middle of work and it goes off. But they never really know what they're doing in the fight either. It's like the worst fights,
So they just end up wrestling with each other drunk and sitting on top of each other.
It's the drunk thing. If they were sober, it would be a nice technical fight. Shit is like
I wouldn't give them that much credit. Probably not too technical, but yeah.
Yeah, any good fighter's not fighting at a concert.
That's very true. Yeah. Very true, man. All right, Mark, I'm gonna let you roll, man. But I wanted to. Where can people find you on Twitter and on your website and everything?
At Marc Roberge and at Of a Revolution.
Of a Revolution, man. Big thanks, man. Really appreciate you coming on. You're actually gonna you guys are coming to Columbus here. I don't know. I'll probably post this in a little while before your show for sure. So I'm gonna hopefully
May 20th.
Yep, I'm gonna May 20th.
So let's link up, man.
Yeah, it's the LC Pavilion's called something else now. Express something.
Express Live.
Yeah, it's changed names like 10 times since I've been.
You should link up with them because they're doing a TV show that appears like after Saturday Night Live. It shows a lot of the live performances of that month or week or something, and they're taping us for it. Maybe you could like branch off your show somehow. Really? I don't know.
Okay.
We'll connect that day.
Yeah, man. I want to definitely. I think I'm in town, and hopefully I can get to your show. Are you guys playing? Do you know if you're playing outside or inside?
I have no idea.
I guess if it's May.
I hope it's outside.
I do too. I saw you guys there outside 2-3 years ago. There outside.
Your brother was with you, right?
Yeah, my brother was there, and I don't know. I'll hopefully I'll get to the show.
Just let me know, dude. Let me know what I can do to help.
For sure, man. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate you coming on, and good luck with everything going forward, man.
Thanks, brother. Right back at you, man. And I'm glad we finally did this.
For sure, yes. I know. Thanks for taking some time. Yeah, for people we got some people that do. A lot of people listen to strictly audio on the iTunes part. But I said before we started recording, Mark has the legit musician background of like multiple guitar cases, all kind of stuff back there. Just recording the hits and in his. If people only knew you're recording the hits and sometimes in this little in your little office.
Yeah, you're not seeing the other side of the room is stacked with all the other trash I had.
That's all right, man. All right, buddy.
This is my first Skype interview. Right
really?
Now.
Hey. Yeah, I use Skype over this. The only time I got back into Skype when I started doing this podcast because it's the easiest way to
record it.
Yeah, so yeah, it's good, man. We're bringing it back.
That's right, brother.
All right,
thanks,
buddy.
man.
Thanks a lot, buddy. I'll talk to you.
See you later.
See you.
We're glad you could join us for today's conversation. After you subscribe to the show, head over to thehawkcast.com or reach out to AJ directly on Twitter at @officialAJHawk to recommend future guests that will help us inspire people to keep talking. Thanks again, and we look forward to speaking with you next time on the HawkCast.